Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into the fascinating and, let's be honest, often misunderstood world of Hindu asceticism. We're going to meet the enigmatic figures known as the Naga Sadhus. You've probably seen pictures of them, right? Especially from huge spiritual gatherings like the Kumbh Mela. Their look is just so striking, it captures the world's imagination. But as this quote says, behind that camera lens, there's a deep, deep history and a philosophy that really challenges the way we think about, well, everything. So in this explainer, we're going to peel back those layers of ash and myth. We're going to try and understand the story, the struggle, and the spiritual quest behind India's so-called naked saints. Okay, let's start with the most obvious thing, the thing you see right away, their appearance and what that tells us about their spiritual goals. You know, every single detail you see here is a deliberate statement. It's all inspired by the god Shiva, and it's this incredibly powerful form of renunciation. The ash on their bodies, that symbolizes death and rebirth. And their nakedness, that signifies a total detachment from the material world and all its comfort. So why do all this? What's the end game? Well, it all comes down to one single concept, moksha. The whole point of this extreme lifestyle, renouncing everything, practicing celibacy, enduring incredible hardship, is to break free from that endless cycle of reincarnation and achieve a state of ultimate freedom. And believe it or not, this is nothing new. When Alexander the Great's army invaded India way back in the 3rd century BC, they actually met these very ascetics. The Greeks were so blown away by them that they wrote about them, calling them gymnosophists, literally naked philosophers. They saw them as both mystics and warrior philosophers. And that word, warrior, brings us to a really surprising part of their story. See, this isn't just a history of peaceful meditation. It's also a history of warfare. So let's go back to the 8th century. A great philosopher named Adi Shankaracharya had this realization. To protect a faith, you need both knowledge and weapons. So he organized these ascetic groups into a militant order, a kind of spiritual army whose job it was to defend their faith, their Dharma. And this warrior identity, it's woven right into their very structure, even today. Their monastic orders are called akharas, and their retreats are chavni, which literally means army camps. Their rituals still have this military flavor. But the key thing to remember is, they fought for their faith, not for money or power. But wait a second. How can you be a warrior and also be detached from everything? It sounds like a total contradiction, right? Well, the answer lies in this core yogic principle, finding ultimate strength and even joy in having absolutely nothing to lose. The central idea here is called vairagya, or non-attachment, and it's this really radical belief that true, unshakable happiness isn't found in getting more things, but in consciously letting them all go. The idea is, by giving up worldly stuff, you get the one thing no one can ever take from you, your own inner peace. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It argues that all the things we chase, possessions, status, power, they don't actually bring peace. They just bring trouble and the fear of losing them. But the renunciate, the one who has nothing, well, they have nothing to fear, and that makes them truly free and happy. There's this simple but really profound story from the Hindu scriptures that just perfectly illustrates this whole mindset. So the sage Narada meets two guys on a spiritual path. The first one is this super stern, grim ascetic. He's been meditating for so long an anthill has literally grown around him. The second guy, though, he's totally different. He's just joyfully singing and dancing. So Narada comes back years later, and he gives the first yogi the news. And the guy's reaction? It's not acceptance, it's just pure rage. And that anger shows you that he's still deeply attached to the results of his practice. He hasn't really let go at all. Now he goes to the second man, the joyful one, and gives him what sounds like terrible news. You've got to wait for almost countless lifetimes. But the man's reaction is pure joy. He's just happy to know there's an end in sight. That shows his complete surrender, his total lack of ego. And at that very moment, liberation came. Not for the guy who was grimly counting the days, but for the one who joyfully accepted his path. His willingness to wait proved he was already free from attachment. That was the whole point. So, you see, this philosophy of detachment isn't about being passive or just sitting around. Nope, it's an active daily practice. It's about training your mind to find serenity, even in the middle of all the chaos of the world. And one of the most powerful and honestly accessible ways they do this is through japa yoga. It's this simple but incredibly profound practice of just constantly repeating a sacred name or a mantra. That repetition acts like an anchor for your mind, keeping it from wandering all over the place. And this is not some modern invention. The practice is described in ancient texts like the Yoga Sutras. And what's really fascinating is that you can find versions of it. Think of the rosary in Catholicism or chanting in Buddhism, in almost every major religion on the planet. To protect this inner peace, yogic philosophy offers this really practical toolkit. 4 keys for the 4 types of people you're always going to meet. Basically, be friendly to happy people, be compassionate toward the unhappy, be genuinely delighted by virtuous people, and for the wicked, just be indifferent. Don't let them in. This lets you engage with the world without letting it mess with your own serenity. So, after all of this, after exploring this pretty extreme and ancient path, what can it possibly teach us about our modern, crazy, hyper-connected lives? I think the ultimate takeaway is this powerful redefinition of wealth. It suggests that true richness has nothing to do with what's in your bank account, but everything to do with the quality of your own mind. The richest person isn't the one with the most money, it's the one with the most peace. Look, the path of the Nagasadu is obviously extreme, but their philosophy challenges the very foundation of our modern consumer culture. And it leaves us with this really powerful question to think about. In a world that is constantly screaming at us to want more, what is the real value of wanting less?